Have you ever wondered if you're handling your metformin the right way now that you're past 70? It's something many of us deal with when managing type 2 diabetes later in life, and the confusion can be frustrating. Perhaps you've heard conflicting information from different sources. A neighbor says to take it with a meal, another friend insists she always takes it on an empty stomach, and you might recall your doctor giving you instructions years ago that you're not entirely sure still apply. These mixed messages can leave you feeling uncertain and concerned about whether you're making the best choices for your health. After all, as we age, our bodies go through changes that can affect how medications work, and metformin is no exception. The good news is, once you understand a few key points, you can simplify all of this and feel more confident that you're taking the right steps to protect your well-being. One common challenge for seniors is that medications often pile up over the years, and metformin might just be one of several prescriptions in your daily routine. It's easy to slip into habits, maybe taking it at the wrong time, forgetting a dose, or inadvertently combining it with certain foods or drinks that reduce its effectiveness. You also might be told, oh, it's just part of aging. You'll have to accept these side effects. But many issues we chalk up to getting older could actually be a sign that it's time to review how, when, and why we're taking our medications. Addressing these things now can mean fewer uncomfortable side effects, more stable blood sugar levels, and ultimately a better quality of life in your 70s, 80s, and beyond. Imagine feeling more energetic throughout the day, noticing fewer digestive upsets, and seeing more consistent blood sugar results simply by avoiding some common missteps with metformin. If that sounds like the kind of transformation you'd welcome, you're in the right place. By the end of this conversation, you'll be able to identify 6 mistakes many of us unwittingly make. More importantly, you'll know what to do instead. We'll look at the assumptions that cause these mistakes, like the belief that it's best to stop eating certain foods entirely, or that it's normal to deal with extreme fatigue without question. We'll share stories of folks in their mid-70s or older who've gone through challenges similar to yours, and how small changes gave them more freedom. You'll also learn practical steps you can start implementing right away, from talking more effectively with your healthcare team to tweaking mealtime routines. I've spent years speaking with older adults about their experiences taking metformin. I've heard both the triumphs and the struggles, and these real-life stories have given me insight into the unique challenges seniors face. Of course, I'm not a doctor, and nothing here substitutes for medical advice. Instead, think of me as a knowledgeable friend who's seen a lot of what works and what doesn't when it comes to managing metformin after 70. Everything we'll discuss is grounded in the latest general recommendations that many healthcare providers consider, but always consult your own provider about what fits your situation best. Before we dive in, I'd love to know, do you have any daily rituals around your medications, like taking them right before a specific meal? Or do you rely on a pill box or alarm to remind you? Reflecting on how you currently manage your meds can help you spot areas you might improve. So keep that in mind as we go along. Now let's explore those 6 mistakes and how to steer clear of them for better health and peace of mind. Let's start with a subtle mistake many seniors make, assuming that metformin works the same way it did 10 or 15 years ago. At first glance, you might think, why wouldn't it? It's the same medication. But consider how our bodies transform over time. Metabolism slows, kidney function might change, and what worked brilliantly in your early 60s may not be optimal now. This is something 73-year-old Ellen discovered the hard way. She'd been on the same dose of metformin for more than a decade and was proud to say she never missed a dose. But over the last year, she started experiencing frequent bouts of diarrhea and an unrelenting fatigue she brushed off as just old age. The real twist came when her doctor ran some routine tests and discovered subtle changes in her kidney function that meant her usual dose of metformin was too high for her current needs. It's easy to think we've nailed a perfect routine years ago and can just keep doing the same thing forever. But our physiology isn't static. So if you've noticed new side effects like persistent stomach upset, unusual weakness, or changes in your appetite, these might not be inevitable senior complaints. They could be your body's way of telling you something about your dosage or timing. Many people don't bring this up with their healthcare providers, often because they believe it's just part of aging. However, it's crucial to share changes or symptoms you experience, No matter how minor they seem, your doctor might suggest adjusting your dose, switching to an extended release version, or running tests that help determine how well your kidneys are handling the medication. Even a small change in dose can dramatically reduce side effects and help keep your blood sugar within a healthy range. A practical first step is to keep a simple diary. For a week or two, jot down any unusual symptoms or changes in your daily routine, especially around those times when you take metformin. Do you feel sluggish an hour afterward? Are you losing your appetite in the morning? Is your sleep becoming disrupted? Armed with this information, your doctor can make more informed recommendations, and you'll feel more confident advocating for yourself. The emotional benefit here is huge. Instead of feeling stuck with side effects or chalking it all up to aging, you can regain a sense of control. You'll know that your medication is serving you rather than the other way around. If this resonates with you, give it some thought. Is it time you scheduled a review to see if your current metformin plan is still the best match for your body as it is today? If you find yourself hesitant, remember Ellen's story. She was able to cut down her dose just enough to relieve her stomach issues without compromising her blood sugar control. This newfound comfort allowed her to return to daily walks in her neighborhood, boosting her overall health and morale. Now let's transition to a second common mistake: combining metformin with certain foods and drinks without realizing their impact. Many seniors believe the myth that metformin somehow protects them from indulging in sugary treats or certain high-fat snacks, as though the medication automatically compensates for any dietary slip. Of course, it doesn't. The synergy between medication and food is more delicate than we might think, especially as we get older. This was the experience of Richard, age 76, who considered his metformin as a green light to enjoy an evening ritual of dessert. Every night, he'd treat himself to a couple of cookies or sometimes a slice of pie, feeling that the medication would take care of the sugar spikes. Over time, though, he noticed that he was waking up with unusually high fasting, blood sugar levels, and a mild headache. He brought it up during a routine checkup, and it turned out that metformin alone couldn't offset his late-night indulgences as effectively as it once did. So what's the new perspective here? Metformin isn't a shield that neutralizes all dietary choices. It's a supportive tool. The real game changer is understanding how certain nutrients either amplify or hinder metformin's effectiveness. For instance, pairing metformin with a balanced meal that includes complex carbohydrates, healthy fats, and lean proteins can help stabilize blood sugar levels more effectively than a meal packed with quick-digesting sugars or refined carbs. Meanwhile, regularly overindulging in high-fat or high-sugar foods, especially close to bedtime, can undermine the medication's benefits. If you're ready to take action, a straightforward approach is to plan meals and snacks in a way that supports stable blood sugar. That might mean swapping out a nightly sugary dessert for a piece of fruit or sugar-free pudding, and ensuring you have enough protein and fiber throughout the day. If you're uncertain about the best foods to pair with metformin, consider speaking with a nutritionist who has experience working with older adults. They can help you develop a meal plan that's not only effective, but also enjoyable. The payoff is more consistent blood sugar readings, fewer morning headaches, and an overall sense of well-being that comes from knowing you're fueling your body in harmony with your medication. The emotional benefit to adjusting your diet alongside metformin is often surprising to many seniors. Richard, for example, had initially felt deprived when his doctor suggested cutting down on sweets, but he soon discovered new dessert options that satisfied his sweet tooth without disrupting his blood sugar so drastically. He reported feeling more energized and less anxious about his readings the next day. If you find yourself in a similar boat, give this a try. Look at your typical daily meals or snacks and see if there's a pattern of foods that might be working against your metformin. It's about making small shifts that over time can lead to big improvements in how you feel. By the way, if you've already found a meal routine that works for you, feel free to share it with others in your circle. It's amazing how seniors can learn from each other's experiences. Hearing what's worked for someone else who's also dealing with type 2 diabetes can spark fresh ideas and keep us all motivated. Let's move on to another misconception: the idea that frequent side effects like mild stomach upset or diarrhea are simply unavoidable with metformin. Many seniors grew up in an era where you took your medicine without question, no matter how it made you feel. While it's true that metformin can sometimes cause gastrointestinal discomfort, especially when you first start taking it, enduring this for the long haul isn't necessarily required. If you're having persistent stomach issues, that's often a sign something's off with your dosing schedule. The type of metformin you're taking, immediate release versus extended release, or even how you're pairing it with meals. Let's consider Diane, who's 74. She was about to go on a cruise, something she'd been looking forward to all year, but dreaded the idea of having to deal with unpredictable diarrhea during her vacation. For months, she'd thought it was just something she had to tolerate because she needed metformin. Her pharmacist, however, suggested talking to her doctor about switching to an extended release version. Within just a couple of weeks, her episodes of stomach upset dramatically reduced, and she could enjoy her trip without constantly worrying about restroom locations. Evidence-based insights show that while metformin is generally well tolerated, older adults often benefit from modifications to reduce gastrointestinal side effects. Simple adjustments like splitting the dose into 2 smaller doses, taken with meals, or moving to an extended release formulation can make a huge difference. It's also worth noting that if you're dealing with kidney issues or other chronic conditions, your doctor may need to reevaluate whether metformin is the best choice for you or if the dose needs fine-tuning. To put these steps into action, consider having a candid conversation with your healthcare provider or pharmacist about any consistent side effects you face. Come prepared with specifics, how often the discomfort happens, the time of day it's worst, and any foods that seem to trigger or worsen it. By sharing these details, you'll help them figure out whether a different formulation or a dosage adjustment could alleviate your symptoms. Following this advice can have a remarkable emotional impact. When you're freed from the anxiety of sudden bathroom trips or nagging stomach aches, you'll likely find you have more energy and enthusiasm to engage in activities you enjoy, be it traveling, gardening, or just socializing with friends. Diane felt an immediate boost in her mood once her stomach issues were under control, and it showed in her willingness to try new things and rekindle some of her old hobbies. After 3 of these important points, I invite you to pause and reflect for a moment. Are there any side effects from your medication routine that you've been silently dealing with? And is there one small step you can take, like making a phone call or jotting down your symptoms, to start addressing it? Sometimes simply acknowledging that you have options is enough to inspire meaningful change. Now, a 4th mistake that can sneak up on many seniors is neglecting to consider drug interactions when you're juggling multiple prescriptions. By the time we're in our 70s, it's not uncommon to have various medications for blood pressure, cholesterol, arthritis pain, and more. The misconception here is believing that if your doctor prescribed them all, everything must automatically work together smoothly. But the reality is that medication regimens can become quite complex, especially if multiple specialists are involved. If your endocrinologist and your cardiologist aren't in close communication, a new prescription might inadvertently interfere with metformin's absorption or effectiveness. Take the case of Leonard, who is 78 and takes metformin along with a couple of blood pressure medications and a statin for cholesterol. When he was given a new prescription to manage chronic pain in his hips, he started noticing odd fluctuations in his blood sugar. At first, he blamed himself. Maybe he was eating differently, but a visit to his pharmacist revealed that the new medication could affect how metformin was metabolized, leading to these unexpected sugar spikes. What's the new perspective? Rather than passively accepting each new prescription, it's crucial to be proactive and ask, does this medication affect my metformin or my blood sugar control? This question can be directed to your doctor or pharmacist, and if you're receiving care from different providers, don't hesitate to make sure they're all aware of your full medication list. Sometimes they might adjust the timing of doses to prevent negative interactions, or they may suggest an alternative medication that doesn't interfere with your diabetes management. The practical advice here is to maintain an up-to-date list of all your medications, including over-the-counter supplements and vitamins. Keep a small notebook in your bag or a note on your phone, so whenever you meet with a healthcare professional, you can quickly review that list together. The emotional upside is feeling empowered and safe. Instead of worrying every time a new drug is added, you'll know you have a system to catch potential conflicts before they become a problem. Leonard adopted this approach and found that simply having everything written down made him feel more in control and less overwhelmed by his long list of medications. A friendly reminder: if you've recently started a new medication or supplement, pay attention to any changes in how you feel or in your blood sugar readings. Nothing replaces listening to your own body. If something feels off, bring it up with your healthcare team right away. Moving on to our fifth point, many seniors overlook the importance of adequate hydration and how it ties into metformin's effectiveness. It might sound odd, drink more water, but as we age, our thirst mechanism becomes less reliable. We might not feel thirsty even when we're mildly dehydrated. Combine that with metformin, which can sometimes cause digestive side effects, and you have a recipe for potential kidney strain or inconsistent blood sugar control. Consider 75-year-old Marion, who noticed that her mid-afternoon blood sugar levels were swinging from high to low on different days, seemingly at random. She'd complain of headaches and occasional dizziness. Her nurse practitioner asked about her fluid intake, and Marion realized that some days she'd only had 1 or 2 glasses of water total, relying on coffee or tea instead. Once she started focusing on drinking water throughout the day, particularly when she took her metformin, she noticed more stable blood sugar readings and fewer headaches. The science behind this is relatively straightforward. Proper hydration supports optimal kidney function and helps your body process medications efficiently. If you're even mildly dehydrated, the concentration of metformin in your system can fluctuate in ways that may cause side effects or reduce its effectiveness. A practical tip is to set small goals, like drinking a full glass of water each time you take your medication. If you're not a fan of plain water, you can infuse it with lemon, cucumber, or berries to make it more appealing. Just be mindful of sugary additives or juices that might affect your blood glucose. Emotionally, it's often a relief to realize that something as simple as proper hydration can help you feel better. Marion saw improvements in her energy levels and mood once she no longer felt so run down in the afternoons. It's a small change that can yield surprisingly large benefits over time. If you're someone who struggles to remember to drink water, consider setting an alarm or carrying a reusable water bottle as a gentle reminder. We've covered 5 points so far: reviewing your dosage for changes in your body, pairing metformin effectively with the right foods, reducing avoidable side effects, checking for drug interactions, and staying well hydrated. As you listen to these suggestions, is there one tip that stands out as the easiest for you to implement? Maybe you can start there with just one small step that feels manageable. Adopting even a single change can build momentum and give you the confidence to tackle the rest. Finally, let's look at the 6th mistake, which is assuming that blood sugar monitoring is optional once you're on metformin. Some seniors think, I'm already taking the medication. Why do I need to prick my finger or wear a sensor? But if you're not keeping track of how your blood sugar responds to different activities, foods, stress levels, or other medications, you're flying blind. That can lead to moments of dangerously high or low blood sugar, especially when your daily routine changes. We can learn from Anna, who's 80. She found monitoring cumbersome and sometimes painful. She ditched the routine checks and only relied on her quarterly lab results. But this approach missed the day-to-day fluctuations caused by stress or occasional indulgent meals with her grandchildren. One afternoon, she felt weak, dizzy, and confused, signs of low blood sugar. It turned out she had taken her usual metformin dose, but forgot to eat lunch because she was busy helping her neighbor. Without regular checks, she had no idea her blood sugar had dropped so rapidly. What's the new insight? You don't necessarily have to check your blood sugar every hour or invest in the latest technology, although continuous glucose monitors can be very helpful for some. You do need enough regular monitoring to spot patterns and prevent dangerous highs and lows. Perhaps that means a simple schedule, checking once in the morning, once in the evening, and anytime you feel off. Over time, you can see how your diet, exercise, and medication interplay. This is vital if you're looking to optimize your metformin routine or if you suspect your body has changed since you first started the drug. If you're wary of finger pricks, discuss options with your healthcare provider. Some seniors discover that intermittent continuous glucose monitoring devices are covered by their insurance or can be borrowed for a short period to track patterns. The emotional benefit is peace of mind. Anna eventually found a small, comfortable glucose monitor that let her scan readings on her phone, which made her feel more at ease. She caught a couple of potential low blood sugar episodes early, allowing her to correct them before they became severe. As we wrap up these 6 mistakes, let's revisit them briefly. First, not revisiting your metformin routine over the years to see if it's still the right dose or schedule for you. Second, believing metformin can counteract poor dietary choices. Third, putting up with persistent gastrointestinal side effects instead of seeking solutions. Fourth, ignoring possible drug interactions when multiple prescriptions come into play. Fifth, forgetting that hydration is a key player in how metformin works in your system. And sixth, skipping regular blood sugar checks, which can leave you unaware of important fluctuations. It's clear that making even a few small changes can spell a big difference in your energy levels, your digestive comfort, and your confidence in managing diabetes at 70 or beyond. There's no need to panic or feel guilty if you recognize yourself in these scenarios. Instead, think of this as an opportunity, a chance to fine-tune your habits so they better serve your current body and lifestyle. Remember, metformin is a tool, not a crutch. When you understand how to get the most out of it, you can enjoy more stable blood sugar, fewer unpleasant surprises, and a sense of empowerment that comes with proactive health management. Now is a great time to consider how you'll put these insights into practice. For instance, you might begin by scheduling a medication review with your doctor or pharmacist. Or perhaps you'll decide to set reminders on your phone to drink water throughout the day. If you want an even gentler start, just begin by jotting down any side effects you notice for a week. The key is to take that first step, however small it might seem. Little actions add up over time, and the earlier you start, the sooner you'll feel the benefits. If you found these tips helpful, you might also share them with a friend or family member who's in a similar situation. Sometimes having a buddy or two who's also trying to optimize their metformin routine can provide support and accountability. You could swap recipe ideas for healthier desserts, remind each other to stay hydrated, or even compare notes on the best ways to talk with doctors about medication adjustments. This sense of community can make what feels like a daunting task turn into a shared journey toward better health. So here's your call to action. First, pick just one of these 6 points to focus on this week. Maybe it's scheduling that appointment to discuss a dose adjustment, or promising yourself you'll drink at least 1 extra glass of water each day. Second, set a reminder on a calendar, a phone, or a sticky note on your fridge, so you actually follow through. If you feel ready, tackle a second point next week. And for those of you who want more comprehensive guidance, you can look into a diabetes education program in your area, many of which offer classes tailored specifically to seniors. It's never too late to make adjustments that can boost your overall health and keep you feeling strong and independent. Think about how much better it could feel to have reliable blood sugar control with fewer side effects, more energy for your favorite activities, and the peace of mind that you're taking charge of your health in a balanced, thoughtful way. You have the wisdom of experience on your side, and now a few extra tools to help you navigate metformin more effectively. Keep engaging with your healthcare providers, stay curious, and trust that even small changes in how you manage your medication can lead to meaningful improvements. You deserve a life where you're not constantly limited by diabetes or weighed down by medication concerns. With some proactive steps, that's entirely within reach. And with all that said, remember, you're in the driver's seat. These tips are here to guide you, but the ultimate decisions are yours. Continue asking questions, doing your own research, and partnering with professionals when necessary. By staying informed and taking deliberate steps, you'll give yourself the best chance at a vibrant, active life, even with a condition like type 2 diabetes. You've come a long way in life and have much still to enjoy. Here's to living well, staying safe, and making every day count.